The Magic Podcast. Hosted by Lloyd Barnes and Craig Petty. Your all-access, behind-the-scenes insight into the current happenings of the magic industry. Where Craig and Lloyd will thrust themselves deep inside your ears every Wednesday to rant, dissect, and give you their raw and unfiltered views on the art of magic. So, lock your door, take out your deck, and brace yourself for the Magic Podcast.
Welcome back to the motherfucking Magic Podcast, cunts. My name's Craig Petty.
My name's Lloyd, and it's so lovely to see your beautiful little face.
Actually, you know what? Normally I start off by insulting you and calling you a twat, but genuinely it's nice to see your face because I have had a bit of a fucker of a week. I've had a shitty week. You know, like one of those weeks, like you just think sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, and sometimes you go through life and everything is smooth sailing and everything is great. And then all of a sudden, life kicks you so hard in the balls, your fucking gonads have flown up into your fucking frontal lobe or whatever the fuck it is. Well,
it literally looks like one testicle on top of a t-shirt right now.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's how I feel. So it's been a fucker of the week, but you know what? It's been made better by coming on here and chatting to you, my good friend, you fucking animal shagging twat.
Oh man, I love you.
I love you
How's
too.
that? Yeah, I can imagine. What a fucker of a week. More details to follow, but
I heard this week you were helping a mutual friend with some tutorials for some incredible Blackpool releases.
oh hell yeah, dude! I've had a crazy week. Well, I've had crazy 2 days. I was a top secret until the night, a judge for the Jewel in the Crown, the close-up competition of the year for the Magic Circle.
First of all, 3 things. 1, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Second of all, I'm in the Magic Circle. Why did those motherfuckers not ask me? Twats. And
You've got enough smoke blown up your ass. I deserve just the tiniest mouse fart of smoke blown up mine.
Haven't you said on record on this podcast in the past, I don't like competitions. I don't think it's a good way to I don't believe in competing. I believe that the art should progress without actually competing here. I'm sure you said that shit on this podcast in the past.
I have said that a lot of times. And then the moment that they asked me for something that would like help boost my profile, I said yes. And I changed my opinion. I immediately went up. No, it's not so much that. I think I went to the Magic Circle J-Day convention back in October for the junior competition, and they asked me to be the judge for that because I was one of the lecturers. And I did it, and I haven't judged a competition before, but it gave me a look from a different perspective. And I always say that, like, if you can't have if you're only idiots aren't able to have their opinions changed. I think is some other quote about it by a much smarter person than me. And I got to see it from a different point of view, and it wasn't so much about saying some people being able to walk around going, I'm the best of the best. It was more about, at least from what I perceived, is that it was about giving the contestants something. It's like, I'm goal oriented. I think you are as well. I put my mind to something and then I work to achieving that goal. And then along that process, I become better or I learn. And I think from what I perceived from it, it was about like, you walk away with an accolade if you win or do well. But it was more about like these competitors giving themselves something to strive towards and then going through that process and becoming better for it. And then having someone be able to give them feedback, which is what I'm going to be doing now. Dr. Will Houston emailed me last night. I just got back from Birmingham, actually. I'd been filming all day, asking would I be comfortable giving feedback to the contestants, which is the part which I'm most passionate about, if they want that. So it wasn't so much about like that I don't necessarily believe you can say one magician is better than another. And that was the most difficult part, picking a winner, because they were all so fucking good. But I think being part of the process of seeing what they were trying to achieve, what the progression, well, not so much the progression, because I don't know where they came from, but sort of getting an idea of what they were trying to do and achieve in their act, and then being part of the discussion of feedback. So I was really honored that they considered that. Laura London reached out to me, and I'm like one of Laura's biggest fans in the world, and said, would I be keen on taking part, and then potentially afterwards helping with any feedback if they were looking for some. And I said immediately yes to that.
Okay. I have questions.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. I have many questions.
Oh,
First
so
of all,
interesting.
you're one of the few people that can say in a very short period of time, you judged the best of the best when it comes to young magicians in the UK. You
Yeah.
judged the finals of the close-up competition at the Young Magicians Club. Those guys are the best of the best. They spend all year putting an act together for that. They are incredible.
Yeah.
You then spent just a couple of months later judged the close-up competition at the Magic Circle, which is probably the biggest accolade you can win as a close-up magician in this country. There's no competition, I think, that touches it. Maybe back in the day, the IBM did, but now it's the Magic Circle close-up competition. You've seen both. You've been a judge in both. Where is the quality standard of the young magicians versus the people that were in the competition that you saw the other night that are maybe working pros or, well, definitely adults over 18? I don't know everyone that was in it. Like, where are you at in terms of? It'd be really interesting to find out. And I'm not saying slag off the adults. The kids are better. I'm not saying slag off the kids better. I'd like to know where the difference is, if there is any.
That's such an interesting question, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it in any way, and I'm not going to blow smoke up anyone's ass because I think it's really important. And I was talking in the car on the way with Kaylee, and I said I think the one thing that's important to do that some people might not do is to be genuinely constructively critique them, because with me. And with my friends, my other friends in Magic, that whatever I'm working on, when I share to them, I want it torn apart.
Yeah.
In a constructive way. I want to look for the warts. That's the only way to get better. I know so many magicians that are given, they're almost like mollycoddled with constructive feedback because the person giving it to them knows they're going to go, okay, and then just ignore it. The only way to get better is to focus on what's going wrong. Yeah, you can focus on what's going right. Focus on what's going wrong. If you can fix that, you get better. So I said to Katie, the one thing I'm not going to do, I'm not going to be Simon Cowell, but I'm going to look at this from a point of view of what would I want these people, how would I want these people to treat me if I put myself up there. When I did my warm-up lectures for the Blackpool lecture and other things, for like in the Cardiff Magic Society, after I finished mine, I said to them, I literally said to them, I have it on camera. I said, I want you to tear it apart. Tear it apart. Because when I rebuild it, it'll be improved. And that was, so I said, no, I can't take any offense. So I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. And I'm not going to fault, I don't like the idea of like telling kids they were all great or anything. The kids were genuinely on par with the adults. And I don't think that's the adults were at all bad in any way. The kids would, the level that they've raised them to in the Magic Circle, I can see they've really fostered both the kids and the adults. There were kids in the Kids Act, in the juniors, I should say, that would, if they had just looked older, you would not have realized they were kids.
Wow.
That's how the level of the kids were. And the adults, like you said, I was very privileged to be in that room, and I was very privileged to be sat in the lay crowd because the judges go in the lay audience crowd, the magicians go upstairs to the theatre. I was extremely privileged to be up close in person with them. I've been very fortunate. I've been to many FISMs. I've been to South Korean FISMs. I've been to Italian FISMs. I think the only FISM I haven't done was the fucking Blackpool FISM, where they serve chicken nuggets. I have seen the best of the best competition close-up acts in the world, and I've seen them inches away from my face. The competitors this year would have fitted right in on a FISM stage. Right. I think there are, in terms of their ability levels, that is, I think there are areas where it would have looked for improvement. And I think that the big difference between the kids' acts and the competitors this year's act, and this is why I was specifically brought in to judge, was for the creativity side of the acts. The kids were willing, and I don't mean this as an any way I'm just going to say the kids were far more experimental with their acts.
Yeah, I can imagine because I remember seeing the. I didn't obviously see the Magic Circle, but I saw the. I was there to watch the YMC close-up competition, and
Yeah.
you had people like Rafferty Coop, and you had all of that music theme stuff, which was incredible, and you did have some very kind of off the wall style acts that even
Oh,
now,
it was
2 or 3 months later, I still remember very well, which I normally wouldn't do. I mean, they really made an impression on me.
Yeah,
How
I can recall every single act from I can recall every single act from both, but the kids approached it from an entirely blank canvas point of view. And I think they weren't the difference was there were two they potentially, and I don't want to speak for anyone on anyone's behalf, but I think when you're an adult competing for the prestige of the close-up magician of the year, there's potentially goals in mind with that, which is one of the best benefits from it is that it boosts your career as a performing magician. Whereas the kids, I think they had more carte blanche and were more blank canvases because winning that wouldn't have I mean it would have a career effect on them, but they weren't confined by any like, okay, I've got to take this act on the road now, you know? So there was like, I remember like the kids when there was like a whole act with like Amazon Prime boxes, a whole act to do with like deodorant from like Henry Ferris, and there was just like completely off the wall wild stuff that had nothing you'd have to think, oh, by the way, I also have to do this on television next week, or I have to be able to take this and perform it 20 times on tables. So they had, which is the nature of the
yeah,
juniors versus the adults. So that was the core difference. But in terms of ability level and showmanship, they you couldn't put a pin between them. That's what I see the benefit of the circle doing is that it raises the ability level across the board, regardless of age, creed, or color. Everyone gets brought up to that magic circle standard, which is insane. Which is, you can't really compete with that. Um, you know,
brilliant.
so that was fascinating to be part of both. And then of course the acts. There was 8 competitors.
Now, I haven't seen any of the acts. I know that Matthew Knight ran one, right? Who
Yeah.
I've
Oh,
gigged with.
God.
I've been to a gig with him. We've done a two-man job before, and he was just incredible. Like I was watching him from afar, and he had people like he was a consummate pro. And I know he's bought some really nice effects out before. You know, I know he's created magic. He's worked with Card Shark and so on and so forth. He also comes across as a very genuinely humble, nice guy as well.
Yeah, you get just good vibes from him. He wasn't like I'm quite an overexcited Labrador in real life. You can be like on camera, you can be like the wrestler type. Um, Matt come across as someone who just, yeah, like I said, humbly just came to the stage. He was just cool, calm, collected, and then just did some amazing, incredible close-up magic. Loads of moments of surprise and wonder, and it was really creative. It was really out there and technically flawless. It was, but this is the difficult part, and it they always every judge says this. They were all so good. There were some people who unfortunately their act didn't go their way because of hiccups, which is the nature of the beast that happens. So those people didn't have the same chance of winning because through some in parts no fault of their own. But that's just like running a 100-meter race. Sometimes the fastest guy's shoes can come undone. Um, so some of the acts had hiccups and sort of that they were unfortunately marked down
I
for
was
that.
I was speaking to David Penn, and he said one of the strongest moments he saw was Damon Sir's vanishing deck.
Yes. Yeah. Well, this was why it was all so difficult. There was a couple of front runners then that nothing went wrong in their acts. They were absolutely phenomenal, and that was probably the most like difficult thing I've had to do was go through who took the crown and yeah, I mean, I'll just talk about some of the stuff that I saw. I saw like in like Damien Sir's act, there was a moment where he made the deck vanish, and it was astounding. I literally had like, everyone had their jaws on the floor, and there were people but he was I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but he made the deck vanish and it was left with one card.
And just so people know, Damon's bringing that out at Blackpool.
It's for not honestly.
That vanishing deck. I don't know if you spoke to him afterwards.
I didn't get a chance to speak to him
He's
afterwards.
yeah. I saw that vanishing deck a couple of weeks ago because I was on Zoom, and he showed it me because he wanted a quote, and I was like, dude, this is one of the best things I've ever seen. Like, this is incredible. It's really, really good. I know he's been filming the tutorial and trailer the last few days. It's definitely coming out of Blackpool.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I put up a post saying if anyone's got any Blackpool releases, send me an email with the title Blackpool release to hello@lloyd.tv, and I'm making a big video about to just basically use my platform to help shine a light on some of the most exciting stuff for like smaller artists. Damien has sent an email and I need to go through it yet, but I'm guessing I saw it in real life, which is even better. There were things that could have tipped the scales for it. Like Damien got the best crowd reactions. I think his magic was there was one girl was almost like when stuff was happening. Like she was like, "What the fuck?" So
and I've gigged with Damien as well. He's such a smart, such a great magician.
I remember Damien from like 10 years ago at Slight Bar Bath. I think I first met him, and he had this like he was one of the first people to have like a 3D animated like type of app thing. It was like, but like way before magicians were making apps. It was phenomenal. So I know he's like a little like hidden away genius. And some of the moments of magic he had, a ring appearing in fire on a chain, a spectator's ring. Everything was so thought out. There were moments like afterwards where Kaylee and me were watching. She's like, "Oh, I thought, because I have a bit of inside knowledge. I thought he was loading it or something there because of her insider knowledge." And then, but then he couldn't have because it appeared over here. And like, yeah, he was doing like ring on rope, like, but it was super visual and it was just really, really clever and solid. And he didn't have a single flash in his entire routine. And so I was kind of like, holy fuck, how do you compete with that? There was James Pritchard, I want to say. I've got so many names in my head now. James Pritchard had a fucking brilliant app. I don't know, there was no app. A brilliant routine act was the word I was looking for, where I don't know if people want their routines spoken about so much, but in a nutshell, he had a shuffled deck of cards and was telling people name single, double, or triple, and whatever they named, he was dealing single colors, red or blacks, then double reds and blacks, like black, black, red, black, black, red, triples, 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 and then he destroyed my brain. So James Pritchard was the contestant that fooled me. I was absolutely fooled. He did a thing where he had a spectator. He handed out cards that had numbers on them, like 6-digit numbers. So 5 or 6 cards that had like 0, 8, blah, 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 1, 2, 8, 5, 9, blah, and the audience held them in their hands. And he had a participant on stage name a 1 by 1 digit, like 2, 3, 7, long digit number. And then he, in front of everyone, added up all the physical cards that people were holding without a calculator, and it equaled the exact number that pulled out. And I've got no clue. I got no clue. Literally. And then like I want to try and talk about, all of the acts in some ways. I haven't got my sheet with all the names on them. But like the opening act did Professor's Nightmare, but in the hands of the audience.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like, oh my God, you got people doing stuff like that, which is super creative and really unique presentation, at least for, me seeing it. So, it was really like things like that. There was a guy who did ambitious card with a signed card. Jason Oyang, I think his name was. And that ended on Shang Ma was the first act. Jason Oyang was the second act, but he ended with a named color back that the person could keep. So he did ambitious card, and at the end, with a signed card, the person's color was the back design. So I think he named black, and it was a black rider back, signed, and he kept it. Right? It was there was a guy called Sid Quantine, I think his name was, or Quantane, who was basically he looked like Harry Styles crossed with Heath Ledger, dressed like if the devil actually played. This guy looked like he was from a movie scene. Genuinely, the only time I've ever seen a magician walk out and think this guy is a real star.
Wow.
Before he did anything. He took out a flick knife, put it on the table, and did some poetry about playing cards with the devil, and then did some sick gambling demonstrations, but with a that weren't so gambling themed in terms of like look what I can do, but it was just brilliant. He could have won alone, aside from his technical ability, but on a lesson on character building and scripting and aesthetic. It was fucking phenomenal. Like you, yeah. I was very blown away by him. There was then, and if I miss anyone out, I'm going to feel guilty as hell now. So I'm trying to run through it. There was, I'm trying to think of the order. So we've covered Damien, James. We haven't really got to Matthew Knight yet because he was the winner. Jason O'Yang, Shang Ma. There was, oh, this, what's his name? Gentleman with grey hair, and he did a cards in glass where he was every time he flicked that he put the cards in the wine in like the wine flute, the deck, and every time he waved a silk over it, they changed to the selected cards. And at the end, he had people cut and select cards, and he was naming the cards they were cut into. It was like drawing room deceptions type stuff, but just like really, really elegantly and well presented, and really fooling stuff. And at the end, there was a gentleman came in, and his entire act was a poem. And as he was doing it, it was like he was kind of a bit like a Cockney rhymer with a bit of like old school charm, and his entire act was just really beautiful and funny and interesting. And it was a card routine where he was making aces appear from his pockets in different places, and it was just really, really well constructed and really interesting. You kind of hooked on it, on his every word. It was phenomenal. And I'm gonna kick myself if there's anyone I've missed off the list. But of course, then Matthew Knight also then entered, and his routine was it was I don't know if he wants his routine shared, but there were some amazing surprise elements to his act where I kind of want to say it just because how fun it was, but like, and I hope he wouldn't be annoyed at me, but it was so creative. He took a black glove off to begin, and then he took a black glove off, and then it changed into a pair of sunglasses.
Oh, wow.
Visually in the air. Then he had some amazing moments of like visual magic along that sort of style. Then he predicted any named date with two jokers. And then he ended up he brought out a black bag then at the end. And he was producing shot glasses and little Jack Daniels bottles and bigger Jack Daniels bottles and bottles and boxes of chocolate. I think a box of chocolate came out of the glove in the beginning and other things. And then he finished off by taking it's like an egg bag, but he was doing it with like chocolates and shot glasses, and then at the end the egg bag he like throws it up in the air and it becomes his glove, and it ends like full circle. But and then he did a little bring on shoelace, I think he did as well. It was just like, yeah, it was it was a bastard to judge. It was a real bastard to judge. But they all brought different energy, completely different energy. They all brought something. Like some had amazing crowd reactions. Like Damien Sir had the crowd like floored. James Pritchard, who was runner up, he fooled me the most. So everyone brought something. There was just like loads of points for creativity from like Professor's Nightmares in the hands of the audience, and it was a tough contest to judge. And I'm just very privileged to see the best that this country has to offer inches away from my face.
That's amazing.
Real
Very few
privilege.
people go that close, because for the people that don't know, if you're not in the Magic Circle, the Devant room is where they hold the close-up competition. Because what the Magic Circle do really well is they make the close-up competition close up. A lot of the time, when you see a close-up competition, it's done on stage, in front of like a bunch of people, and it's really a close-up competition, but it could be a stage competition, really, because of how far away you are from the audience. But with the Magic Circle, they have a small group of lay people and judges in the Devant room around a table. And then all the other magicians are sitting in the theatre, and it's being broadcast onto the screens in the theatre, which I think is a really good way of doing it, because some people who are incredible close-up magicians might have never performed on stage in their life and going out on stage. I remember entering when Blackpool had a close-up competition years ago. I entered for the first time. I entered the Blackpool Close-Up Magician of the Year, the International UK Championships or whatever it was. I'd never performed on stage in my life. I was a pretty damn good close-up magician. Never performed on stage in my life. And I walked out into the Spanish Hall in front of like 3,000 magicians. And I'm like, how is this a close-up competition? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a very privileged position to be in, Lloyd. Getting
Yeah,
to
it
be
was.
that.
I had some. I was with great company as well. Aside from Kaylee being there, there was the other judges were Billy Kidd. Billy Kidd
Oh,
is one of
wow.
the judges from Wizard Wars, and she's down. She's from well, she's not from there, but she's been 12 years. She's been running the Crowd Keepers Theatre in Slight Bar down in Bath.
Yep.
Uh, International performer all over the world, like really somebody who actually is qualified to judge close-up performances.
Yep.
There was Noel Britton, who I met for the first time. I've heard about Noel Britton for years, and he was a proper good laugh, and he was really good in like the when we were discussing it downstairs in the library, going over the notes and stuff. Like he was like quite like him and Dr. Will Houston was really like leading the way in a sense in a because some of us hadn't done it before, so I was a bit of a lamb to the slaughter in that in terms of that. So it was really like nice just to meet him. He was a good laugh, and he was like, yeah, you can see why he's a legend. And then there was two judges that were not magicians, which is so important to have, but they were magic adjacent. So
Mm.
the first one was a guy called JJ, who was a booking agent, and famously he gave Paul Daniels his very last booking, and he told us some interesting stories about Paul Daniels and one of the interesting things that happened. I'll leave that for him, his story to share. But he's seen a lot of magic. He books a lot of magicians, so he kind of knows what people like and has more of a deeper understanding than the average layperson, then, so to speak. Especially as somebody who worked with Paul Daniels as well.
Mm.
Very qualified to judge. And the other judge was a lady called Day or Dada. I apologize if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. Who flew over from Spain, and she is
Right.
a choreographer, sort of stagecraft expert who's worked with like Mario Lopez on his Fissam Act, but she isn't strictly a magician. And she
Wow.
brought some really interesting points to the table. Like she pointed out, she when we were doing our judges discussions, she had picked up on certain elements that none of us had realized, that were that really really contributed heavily to some of the decisions that were made in that room.
Oh,
uh,
wow.
just things that, like, I mean, that generally magicians don't tend to pick up on. And I'm trying not to, obviously those discussions were private, but she had mentioned so and so utilized the space better. So and so was the only person that came out silent.
Mm.
So and so did this, but like she had a lot of notes for every performer, and she spoke half as much as she listened, which is when I tend to speak too much. And so she was really invaluable there. So everyone brought something really interesting to the table, and there was a lot of back and forth downstairs. And I said, like, it really, really was like, there was just too much to choose from. Really, that was the problem with it. And we literally said this in the discussion room downstairs, that the difficulty is that sometimes, like in certain FISMs, there's no contest. There's no contest. Everyone knows the winner. Even the people who didn't win knew before they come out. Like, that guy's the winner. This time it was like, fortunately, we had a lot to discuss. It meant we could spend a bit more time with each other. Unfortunately, it was very hard. It was a very, very tough decision, and it meant we
I
had to
would not like.
deliberate for a lot longer than normal, we said.
I wouldn't like to be in that situation. No, 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 no.
Yeah. So, um, yeah, and Dr. Will Houston like sort of led the discussion because he was sort of the chair of it, and what he brought to it was clarity and calmness, and made sure everybody had a voice, and it was a really amazing experience. And then the other thing was the most important vote, I suppose, was the people's vote. The
I
people's
don't
vote.
know what this is because they didn't have this before. What's the people's vote?
So in the audience, a app was you could scan a QR code or go to a website and pick your favorite and pick your winner. And then that was also awarded this year too. So
who got the
Matthew Knight got the people's vote
as well as the
as well
judges
as
vote?
the close,
Wow, I
close
mean
vote too.
that says it all, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah. Although, yeah, I mean, it was just brilliant. It was a really, really amazing experience. And I said to Laura, I was like, shall I publicize this on my social media before the event? And she's like, no, keep it top secret. I was like, why? She's like, because if people know you're a judge, not that any of these contestants would, but like, they could bribe you or tailor their act to garner favoritism towards you or one of the other judges or so it was a top secret little mission for me to go to London and do the judging, which was quite exciting to be a part of. But yeah, it was just amazing, and what a privilege, and like yeah, massive thanks to Laura London who hosted phenomenally, to Will Houston, Dr. Will Houston. And all the other judges and Marvin Berglass awarded the prizes. It was I'm forgetting people as well, but it was really good fun. It was great. It was great. And to see Magic is in a fucking good place.
It
It's in a
is.
fucking good place.
That's
Because
what
we
we
were
need.
also allowed to not award first as well. If nobody was up to scratch, we were very within our rights to not award first. And our problem was there was too many people that could have been awarded it.
Wow.
And part of me wanted. I do love that FISM sometimes doesn't award a winner because I think it tells everyone everyone's on notice. And I was very comfortable not awarding first place if there wasn't somebody to win. I was very happy to do that. You know me, I'm really passionate about Magic
Yeah.
being improved, like the overall bar of Magic being elevated. That's one of my since the age 16, my first like foray into the industry, and I first give myself a voice and a platform. I've sort of championed that since day one that Magic needs to be better, magicians need to be better. There's so many lazy bastard magicians out there that just think it's good enough to do a shit job. So I was very happy to walk in there and sort of stand on my business and be like, no, none of you are good enough to win. And unfortunately, or at least not, fortunately or unfortunately, that wasn't the case. They were, yeah, it was extremely high standard.
Wow. Well. That's amazing. So before we move on, anyone who's wanting to enter as a judge, what advice would you give them? Knowing the acts that you saw this year, if somebody's saying, you know what, I think I can win this, I want to step up next year, I want to be the person that's in Matthew Knight's position, what advice would you give them?
Well, I was brought in for the creativity element, essentially. Like each judge brought their own expertise. Mine was for creativity. So if I was judging it next year, um, then and I'm guessing that every judging panel has somebody who's a creative specialist, who's a performance specialist, who's a stagecraft specialist, who's a technical specialist on the sleight of hand and stuff. And I'm guessing, yeah. So mine was like um, creativity and sort of like the slight stuff. For me, it would be if you're entering next year, uh, look at every act that's been for the last 10 years and make
Mm,
your act different to theirs. Take
good.
out anything that could look remotely similar to any act that you've seen in the last 10 years, right? And then do something other than that. Because that instantly is going to gain you points on from my technical perspective. And then if you look at somebody like a booking agent, like JJ's perspective, he was potentially looking for who would entertain the crowd the most, right? If he's sending you off to if somebody's booking a magician and he's sending you off, then he wants to make sure, or maybe it's not maybe not even entertaining the crowd the most, but who do the crowd like the most,
Yeah.
right? Are you the person that's going to get him a repeat booking? So go out and do gigs and see what you can do to get repeat bookings and impress you know what I mean? I don't know. You gotta like this is why we were under wraps, I suppose, because you don't want to garner it too much to the judges. You do have an audience there. But the best advice, yeah, for a competition act, I mean, I said this about my session lecture. There were two things from my session lecture which were definitely applicable to competition acts. Was A, I made sure I didn't do the same type of trick over and over and over in my lecture, right? So there was no pick a card, find a card, no pick a card, find a card, no pick a card, find a card. You don't necessarily not have to do that, but whatever tricks you do, make them all memorable.
Yep.
Right? So make them unique. And then the second thing is, at least from my expertise, was that I was very conscious of my framing. So in my session lecture, like when Josh, like, okay, what angles do you want? Well, it's all kind of designed to just be sort of here so that everyone in the room can see it. And that's just close up, I know, but like like technically, and there's no one, I'm not gonna point anyone out, but certain people are performing parts of their act and the audience couldn't see, like, for example, I'm going to use a card as an example, but if a card was displayed as like, this was your card on the table, I'm literally holding it on camera now for you to see, Craig. It was at this angle that nobody could see it because it was parallel to them. So just to be consciously aware of, like, if you're going to show your card or find a selected card, or display that the deck is all one direction or something, maybe bring a close-up pad that's angled. I know that Ed,
Ed does that, yeah.
Ed does that. He has an angled close-up pad.
Ed Hilton.
Ed Hilton does that. So when he does a coin matrix, for example, or I think it was, I mean, it's 4 years ago or 3 years ago when I saw his act, but I can remember lots of it. But he brings an angled close-up pad so that everybody can see it. Because even though it's close-up, everyone's sat down at ground, at normal level to you, so they're not elevated looking down. So know the room. It's the Devant room. I think it's always going to be in the Devant room because it's close-up.
Yeah.
But know that your audience are at your waist level essentially, and calibrate for that. So that would be my 2 pieces of advice. And then I think you could see some of the acts had performed for audiences that performed their act more for audiences. Not, because I think they're all performers, but I think some of them have performed the act for a little bit longer, or elements of their act for a little bit longer. And yeah, so, and one of the pieces of criteria that I was given to look out for was, and I hope it's okay to say this, but was to think about anyone that's it was like, think about the future of where we want to take these acts next year and potentially further afield. And I'm not going to say any more than that. So I'm sure if you remember the Magic Circle and you talk to to Laura London and Dr. Bill Houston and other people there, and you're like, what guidance can I have for my next year's act? They would probably tell you privately, but I think you would do yourself a lot of justice, or you'd gain a lot of free voting points if you were to think about, all right, how can I make this something that could be taken. I'm trying not to. I don't want to say anything I'm not privy to be allowed to talk about. But if I was going to enter next, I would never enter it. If I was going to enter next year, I wouldn't be thinking about doing an act that I could just do. Okay, if I was entering next year, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would put together a brand new act, and it wouldn't be something that I would be taking, although I'd have to practice it, it wouldn't be something that I would do corporate.
Okay.
It would be close-up, obviously close-up act, but I would be making it extra, extra special, and something that I would be able to do on the world close-up stage.
Right. Okay.
Right? So every single part of my act would be just for my competition, in terms of, like, I wouldn't be doing any store-bought, at least for me anyway. But if I was given advice, don't perform a single thing bought off the shelf.
Yeah.
Don't perform anything that's somebody else's.
Yeah.
Make it entirely yours. I know that's hard, but that's kind of like, if you want to be the close-up magician of the year 2027, then,
yeah,
do that.
Wow. Sounds like there's interesting things afoot. I'm reading between the lines, but yeah, that's great. Wow. Like you say, magic's in good hands. Magic is absolutely in a good place.
Yeah, it really, really, really is. Really is. I was like, it's times like that where I was driving home and I was like, why the fuck have they got me to judge this? Like, there are levels to this shit. And you see these people and you go, yeah, there's a reason why you are in the final of the closing magician of the year, and I never would be.
Wow.
You know, it was a very humbling experience.
Wow. That's great. I want to ask you one other thing, because as part of your busy week, not only did you go to London to get back at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, but I hope it's okay to say you hung out with one of my favorite magicians for the day, James Keatley. I
Yes.
believe that you were helping James with a couple of Blackpool releases. So
Yeah.
it
Yes.
means now the reason I ask you this is because James consistently has one of the best booths at Blackpool,
Yeah.
because he'll only have one or two things. Last year he teamed up with Chris James and he had the wonderful Bitcoin and the I think the Spitfire coin set and all that sort of stuff. The year before Big Chip and then Bitcoin. He always brings the best stuff. And he's not one of these booths that's got like 50 releases or something. He brings one or two things and he focuses on it, and he's always bringing the best stuff. And you, as far as I'm aware, is the only person outside of him that's seen what his Blackpool releases are. What I'm trying to say,
Me and Jake Keane.
spill the beans,
Oh, I'm
Bart.
not going to spill the beans on what the tricks are,
No, but can you
but I
say
can tell
anything?
you that again, it's a very so James Keatley always comes with very creative but very workable stuff for Blackpool. And he's done exactly that again this year, and it's the reason why one of his stands, like you say, is one of the most popular at the entire convention. Jack Magic, it's called JAK Magic. Uh, yeah, again, we filmed two of his releases. I helped him with the tutorials for them, and I don't know how much I want to say because I kind of want people to go up there and experience them in person, and just go and have him perform them to you, which is what he's excited to do. But yeah, again, it's Keatley Gold, Keatley fried gold again.
Keely fried gold.
I was kind of worried. I was kind of worried because it's the year of saying yes. So the boys, I was like, yeah, I've got free time. If you want me to help you guys film, I'll come and do it. And they fucking asked me, which was annoying as fuck. So, I was going to call you to come down, but I went home I left at, we got there, I got there at 10. I left at 3, got it all done. I was like, yeah, I was going to hang out till like 8 o'clock when Jake's train was, but I was like, oh, I was at the Magic Circle. I got home at like past 2 in the morning. The next day I worked all day on editing. So I haven't seen the kids. So like, if I get home, I can put them to bed. So I just bailed once we had everything done. But I was kind of worried because I was like, oh shit, I don't want to like, no, not that I don't want to, but like, I hope it's good. I don't want to travel to Birmingham, leaving at like 7 a.m. in the morning, getting up at 6. Uh, if I, sometimes you see your friends and you think, oh no, they've put so much time and effort in and it doesn't quite hit the mark.
Yeah.
Luckily, it was fucking worth the drive. It was worth getting up early for
Wow.
some visual stuff, some practical. Oh, it's just it's James Keatley's fried gold, mate. And then
Is it anything to do with the stuff that he showed me, by the way, and you at the session last year? I'll talk about I'm trying to give you a clue. No, okay.
No,
Okay.
yeah, not that. I know. Not that
Wow,
I know.
because that is incredible, and I've been waiting
I
for this.
know. But also, that was Jake Keane too, and
Was Jake filming some stuff, or was he helping with
we
the?
filmed 2 performances. Only to James at the time. We were gonna go out and do like some street performances, but Jake wasn't like feeling too good, so we put that off to like till Blackpool. But last year, Jake put out Not ESP, the app, and it's won App of the Year from I don't know how many different places. It's without knowing some people's numbers, but at least from like the industry side that I've been able to see, best selling App of the Year by quite a country mile. It's been in Vanishing's top 10 for the last 6 months. It's like you go on there most days, and it's still in the top 3 or 4 above other apps they've put out and everything. It's just been a bit of a whirlwind success. And when Jake first showed me that, I have a pretty good, I'm like you now. I have a pretty good inclination of when something's going to be a bestseller or like a runaway steam train success. And Jake went there and came there. He had 2 things. One of them's fucking brilliant. And one thing he'd already showed me, but it was in like the WhatsApp group, so I hadn't really put much. It's hard to I don't appreciate much magic in a conversation through text. If I see it in real life, I can wrap my head around the timing, the pacing of it, and everything. He showed me this other thing, which he was like, "Oh, this is a throwaway thing." He was gonna like do nothing with, or he wasn't like gonna put much stock into it, and it's better than not ESP.
Shit.
Yeah, I was like, "Fuck me, Jake. This is the next app of the year." And he was like, "Really?" I was like, "I hate to break it to you, like the other app is really fucking good, like really good, but this one, this made the spidey senses tingle. This one." And he was like, "Really? I wasn't really gonna do much with it." I was like, "It's the app of the year. It's fucking phenomenal. Again, you've done it. Like, and the
When's it
same with,
bringing it out?
well, I think time for Blackpool."
Sick.
But I was just like, again, like the same thing happened because he works on a lot of stuff. And not ESP was the same. He told me about it before, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, this sounds interesting." And then he showed me. I was like, "Oh my God, this is fucking phenomenal. What the fuck? Why didn't you tell me to listen to you better?" And again, I was like, he showed me. I was like, "What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?" And he was like, I was like, "This is fried gold, mate." And yeah, so I walked away being like, "Oh shit, he's got not shit, but like this is yeah, I'm calling it very early, very very early, but
Wow.
app of the year, yeah." I don't say that lightly, but
Either.
Jake won it this year, and I think he'd get it again this year. Last year, I think he's gonna get it again this year.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow.
so super
Wow.
excited. And then I filmed two performances of two apps that I might bring out in time for Blackpool, but currently my life is just consumed by fucking vanishing elephants, and the first batch of orders is going out today.
Sick.
Yeah, the
The elephant production line continues on.
first few hundred, God bless Kaylee's soul, are being dispatched today.
Wow, that's
So the
amazing.
earlier people pre-ordered, some people ordered in like the beginning of January, like January 4th, I think was one of the first orders. Those it's going chronologically. So whoever ordered earliest is going to be getting them earlier. So some people might be getting them tomorrow.
That's amazing. You heard it here first. Your elephants are on the way.
The elephants are on the loose.
Lloyd and Kaylee with the Elephant Express. Fucking get in.
Yeah, but yeah, I also so I performed on camera anyway, just demoed two apps that might be coming out in time for Blackpool.
Oh, dude, you're gonna have to break it on the podcast at some point if they are. You're gonna have to let us know. You can't just tease us with that.
One of them was like, no, I won't say anything.
Oh, fuck off, Lloyd. Come on.
One of them's like got all the hallmarks of a cognito, but makes more sense. So they think of something, they don't say it, type it, speak it, whisper it, write it, like nothing. Obviously there's a magic element to it, there's a method element, but from their point of view, they actually do not type it, write it, or anything, and you know exactly what it is. So like a mentalist wet dream. And then the other one is a thing where it feels like real mind reading for a simple piece of information, but it feels very, very much like real mind reading. And the method like cancels itself out in like a two-phase routine.
Wowzers.
Wowzers, maybe. But yeah, but I don't know. They may or may not be in time for Blackpool. I don't know.
Well, you will hear it first on the Magic Podcast, even if I have to drag it out of Lloyd Barnes' soul. I will do that for you guys. What else has been happening in the community that we can talk about, Lloyd? Hocus Pocus shut down.
Yeah, what the hell? That came out of the blue.
No, like you don't know how much out of the blue this came. Like
I've been speaking to people who like I know Max and the family, and
I literally spoke to Max 2 days before. Like I spoke to Max on the phone because I was wanting to arrange an interview. So I think it was like the Thursday or the Wednesday. I actually rang Hocus Pocus and I was, can I speak to Max? Yep, no problem. Max came on the phone. Hey Max, it's Craig. How you doing, Craig? I'm great. Yeah, you still up for doing this interview because we talked about the interview and it never happened. Yeah, of course I am, mate. No problem. Yeah. When would you like to do it? Oh, give me a couple of weeks and then we'll sort it out in a couple of weeks. Oh, okay, no problem. And I thought I put down in the diary to call him in a couple of weeks. And then Thomas Maloney rang me and he said, "You do know Hocus Pocus have shut down?" I'm like, "No, they haven't. I've just spoken to Max." And he's like, "No, go look at their website." And it was like the whole, "We're closing, we're really sorry." And I'm like, either he knew about it, but he didn't want to tell me, which is possible, or it came so out the blue. I don't know.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Hocus Pocus was amazing. And one of the things I loved about them is all the estate sales they did. You know, they would go into the estate of a magician that's passed away and take all of their props and then, you know, meticulously go through it, list them all, everything, you know, all the way up to big, large scale illusions and, you know, find new homes for them. And there's not really many places that do that. Chris Cross and Danny Hunt to an extent, but in the UK, but I don't think there's anywhere else in America that does that to the level that Hocus Pocus did. This is a big loss to the community.
Yeah, massive loss. And like I'm sure like someone sent me a screenshot being like they also like deleted everyone off Facebook apparently as well.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know, it makes you wonder what the hell has gone on.
Oh my
So
God.
sudden. So yeah,
I'm personally still connected to Max on Facebook. So I'm still connected to Max. We're friends on Facebook. I'm still connected.
are you there? Are you searching now?
Yeah, I'm still connected to Max on Facebook. I mean, we are friends.
Or maybe it was like somebody who got it wrong and they'd just been deleted then.
Oh no, not friends anymore. Shit.
Yeah, see? Why would they do that?
I don't know.
I know,
That is so weird.
isn't it?
Like really weird.
Although, in fairness to about deleting people, I deleted all magicians off my Facebook, off my personal page, including you, including the boys, last year or the year before, just because people, because I wanted to just keep it for my literally like my hometown and my
No, yeah, yeah.
family. So it could be that he's doing exactly something I did, which was done with no
If
nefarious.
he, I mean, it was his family business. If he's shut that down, I mean, he might just want to completely get out of magic. You know, I mean,
Someone said something like they found a better business opportunity or something. This is all like I think people just making assumptions, you know. But yeah, fucking what a shame. Another gone.
that's why
It's
you
like
got to support your you got to support anything that involves live. Like you got to support your magic shops, but you've also got to support your magic theaters. You know, everything's going online these days, and it's such a shame. And you know, we don't want to lose that brick and mortar elements. Support your Alakazam, support your you know your magic boxes, your international magics, all of those various different places. Support them as much as possible, and your theaters like you know Smoke and Mirrors. We talked about Slight Bar earlier on. Magic Bar Live up in Llandudno in Wales, all of these places, you got to support them because, you know, they need your help.
actually speaking about this, we should probably address the elephant in the room that we've just literally forgotten to address, which is people have had their Magic Podcast Meetup tickets refunded.
Fuck, yes, that's a really important thing. I've had so many messages
Yes,
about.
fear not. We should have addressed this right from the very beginning.
It
We
should have been at the
started with
beginning,
this.
but we decided to babble on about the close-up competition at the Magic Circle. Right, okay. A lot of people have contacted us and gone, "What the fuck? I've had my money refunded." I'm sure that Mr. Brown won't mind me explaining what's happened. So basically, the House of Secrets has a
Which is
entertainment
the bar that the Magic Meetup takes place in.
yeah, they have an entertainment license. So they can only open, I think, till 10 o'clock or something like that and serve alcohol up to a very early time. But that's fine because it's a family entertainment venue. They supply entertainment, so that's all good. However, around about Blackpool Magic Convention, a lot of people don't want to hang out in the Ruskin. The Ruskin is a very, very busy place, and it can almost be a little bit overwhelming, especially if you're new into magic. So a lot of people like to hang out at the at the House of Secrets. So what Russ Brown does is he applies for an extension. He changes the license for the House of Secrets temporarily to a kind of a bar license. So he can open till I think 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So if you go into the house, if you go into Blackpool Magic Convention and you don't want to go to the Ruskin and you find it a bit overwhelming, you can go into the House of Secrets, which a lot of the time is where I hang out, actually. It's a little bit quieter. And there's lots of tables set up for jamming and everything. And that's where we've always had the podcast meetup. And nothing's changed. This year we're going to have the podcast meetup. And as you know, we'd planned a whole bunch of stuff. And then Russ contacted me and he said, I'm going to have to pull the podcast meetup. And I was like, why? And he said, well, because I've changed my license, because the license has been changed to a bar license, I'm no longer during that period of time allowed to use the venue as an entertainment venue. And I was like, oh, is it really entertainment? We're just doing some lectures and stuff. He's like, no. I've spoken to the council. They are very, very insistent on this, to the point that he's actually thinking about putting tables and chairs up on the stage so people can't go up on the stage and start using it as a platform to entertain, because legally he could be in a lot of trouble if he's got one license but he's got entertainment in the venue where he doesn't have an entertainment license. So he contacted me and he said, look, I'm going to have to pull the podcast meetup because we haven't got an entertainment license over Blackpool period. There's nothing I can do about that. That new license runs, I think, from the Tuesday to the Tuesday. It runs for a week. And it means that it's going to be open until late at night. He said, I was like, man, what are we going to do? He said, well, I'm going to have to pull it and refund everybody. Obviously, we'll have the bar open so you and Lloyd can be there and you can still have everyone come in and you can all sit around and jam, and that's not a problem. They can't stop me from having people like showing each other card tricks but I can't offer any structured entertainment or advertise any structured entertainment. So I then contacted you and I was like, what, there's a couple of different options here. We could find another venue, or we could still be there. You and I could still be there, but just kind of, and still try and achieve what we normally do with the meetup, but just kind of jamming out in the actual House of Secrets for a few hours. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at with that. I think that if this is the same situation next year, I think we'll find an actual venue, because we had really big plans for it. But I think at the moment it's too short notice to find a venue, and we don't want to rush it and half-arse it. What's your thoughts, Lloyd? That's where I'm kind of at with it.
Yeah, it's just sorry, fucking why on this mute? It's gutting for us, it's gutting for all of us, but the podcast meetup is still going ahead. It was just figuring out the logistics. We've got 3 weeks. 3 weeks, we'll be all right. So yeah, fear not. Stick ahead with your plans. Everything in Blackpool is like meters away from each other. So whether we go to Russ's bar. Did you say we can go there and just jam and hang out?
So we can hang out in Russ's bar and jam and hang out, but you can't advertise it as a structured meetup with something happening on the stage. That's option number one. Option number two, we find another room somewhere that we were going to do, but in a different room.
Yeah, so podcast meetup is 100% still going ahead. We will either be in exactly the same place and we cannot structure it as an event, or we will just be in a slightly different location, a few meters away, like one street over or something.
Yeah.
But fear not, but we've had I've been in London, Birmingham. I know you've had shitloads going on behind the scenes. So hiring new members.
I will be completely honest. This week I've been very, very, very distracted. So I haven't had my finger on the pulse like I normally do, and I apologize to everybody for that. But I've had a shitter of a week.
A shitter of a week. So, but yeah, carry on with your plans. Don't change anything with your hotels for the Wednesday night or the Tuesday night, whatever. It's all going ahead. It's going to be absolutely fine. And but it'll just be either there and it won't be structured, but we'll still be there as normal, or it'll be in just like a few meters down the road.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we should hopefully have a full announcement for that next week. Talking about announcements, should we talk about the convention?
Yes. Let's do it.
Let's talk about the convention. So, as you know, I think we've bought enough goodwill that you guys know that the Magic Podcast is back. We went for a couple of years where, Lloyd had babies and stuff that he needed to deal with. But, as of November, we've been delivering every single week in, week out. We're back big time. And now Lloyd doesn't have Murphys to contend with, so we've got him more. We've got more of his time, which is amazing, and we're very, very, very keen on doing this convention. We're still
no, we're not keen. We're doing this convention.
Yeah, so we're doing the convention. We haven't ironed out the venue. There's a couple of different options in terms of the venue that we're actually going to go at. However, we have confirmed the dates. We're going to go for the date, and then we'll let you know the venue when we've signed the papers, dotted the I's and crossed the T's. Now, while I am filming this with Lloyd, Michael, who you all know, is in the other office working his little butt off, putting together a contact form, which will be in the comments to this YouTube video. It'll be in the comments on the podcast. If you use Spotify or wherever, it'll be on there as well. It'll be a link to a just a contact form where you can register your interest for the convention.
The first year when we make the ticket sales officially live. But the date is going to be the Saturday and Sunday, June the 13th and 14th of 2026. So June the 13th and 14th, that gives you 5 months to book one night away in a hotel, or one day, come along for one day. It's going to be in Birmingham.
Yep.
In Birmingham, which
or
is
around the Birmingham or the Black Country. So the wider Birmingham area, the Midlands is where it's going to be.
Yeah, but that part of the UK. So it's really like people think like London is like the best part, the easiest part to get to, but realistically, from an actual travel point of view for most of the listeners on this podcast, whether you're coming from Scotland, up the north, or for like Wales, for me to get to you, it's exactly the same travel time to London. In fact, it's a little bit less. So for people coming from like Scotland way, it's going to be half the time. People even coming from London, it's just the same travel time to Birmingham as it is from me to London.
And we're only about an hour and a half away from Liverpool, an hour and a quarter away from Manchester. We're about an hour and a bit away from Yorkshire. We're right near sort of Cambridge and those sort of areas. We're not far away from there either. And in terms of trains, I gig in London all the time. I can get a train from Birmingham to London, arriving in Euston, and I can be there in an hour and 15 minutes. And I know that because I gig there all the time. I take my kids there to the YMC all the time. It is an incredible place to have a venue.
Really. Apart from like that, you live in Birmingham, which people will have to come across you.
But you can always move here as well, motherfucker. You chose to shag all of the sheep.
There's no sheep left me to fuck there. So so June the 13th and 14th. I think I don't know whether it's a packed out one day or a 2 day, but June the 13th, depending. Yeah, June the 13th in Birmingham, 2026. Go to themagicpodcast.co and then put in your email address there, and you'll be the first person to hear when the tickets are on sale. And as soon as the tickets are on sale, then we'll start announcing the lecturers.
Yep.
And we got some the 3 lecturers that have come forward and said they're up for it are, each one of them is world class, absolutely fucking world class.
It's ridiculous who we've got. And they've come to us. They've listened to the podcast and they've said, can we do it, please? Like, it's crazy shit.
Yeah, they're the type of people that I get too nervous to speak to. Oh, I'll say something else unrelated later.
Go on. What?
No, I have to say unrelated, or it'll give away one of the lecturers.
Okay. Right. We'll leave it until later on and see if people can work out the fucking clues and the breadcrumbs. So it's definitely happening. 13th, 14th of June. It's going to be, probably knowing us, the most disorganized fucking conference, convention, whatever you have it. It's going to be the most disorganized, unprofessional convention of the calendar year. But I guarantee you it's going to be a lot of fucking fun. And we're going to be doing a lot.
I want to see you do your illusion show.
Do you want to see it? Well, do it. I don't normally do it.
Dude, that would be fucking hilarious.
As an illusionist, I've been doing this shit for 20 years.
I know. I just cannot picture you doing jazz hands, man. Like, that's what I think is going to be class.
Yeah, I could do that. Fuck it. I don't think people would want to see that, but I can fucking do that. Yeah. Why not?
Yes. So it'll be a cracking day. It's going to be 3 superstar lecturers. Me and Craig, we can either do like an hour lecture each or a 45-minute lecture each. There'll be a lunch break, lots of jamming, lots of sessioning, an evening event, a podcast live event, and just
maybe a little close-up set as well from some of the people, like an international close-up type thing. I think would be a fun thing to do.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
And also this can be driven and led in the direction of the listeners. So what we can do is field out some listeners' questions, which is probably what we'll start listening to next for the podcast like today.
Yep.
And see if there's any idea. I remember like Rich Relish had some good ideas for a podcast. The podcast live. Rory Adams hosted one of the podcast lives with the questions I think that Rich put together potentially. So we are lambs to the slaughter. If you guys want us to do something for the Magic Podcast Convention that you think would be fun or engaging, let us know, and we're open to it. We're up for it.
I mean, last time we tried to do a podcast live, I ended up wrecking tens of thousands of pounds worth of electrical equipment, soaked 2 or 3 people in the audience with beer, and ended up getting a tattoo.
It was a good day. It was a good day. On to listeners' questions, because I know you've got a busy day. I have a really busy day. Should we do some? I've sent you an audio question from the cowboy magician, Tyler motherfucking Lunsford.
We need to start off with that shit. Okay. So, let me find it. Here we go. Audio.
Surprised you come up from eating this tush.
Sick. Right. I think my audio is being shared, which means that I should be able to play this. So here we have the cowboy magician, Tyler Lunsford. Let's see. Here we go.
What's up, fuckers? It is your favorite cowboy magician here. 4% Welsh cowboy magician here, riding this sheep on in the town. At least 4% of it. Guys, I have a bone to pick with you before my question. A couple weeks ago, you mentioned something about how, Craig woke me up, scared the shit out of me on my first trip to the UK. And you just left out a few details that make that story so much worse. Just real quick, it was my first trip to the UK. 2, I had not slept in over 24 hours because of the trip over there was overnight and I didn't sleep on the plane. And so I'm miserable. I finally get to go to bed that first night and I am so excited, having the best sleep of my life, deep sleep after being awake for so long. And Craig wakes me up in the morning at what is my local time, 3 a.m. And I am obviously scared shitless because he woke me up the way he did, curl into fetal position. And then I realize it's 3 a.m. local time. And I'm this sucks. And he's hey, you ready to get up and film a tutorial? And he drags my ass downstairs, not physically, but actually is all right, come on, breakfast downstairs. So I go downstairs, and after breakfast, which is 20 minutes at the house, Craig had some food. Very nice of you, Craig. But we ate McDonald's, and then he's all right, time to film the tutorial for Evoke. And then me and Jake Keane sit down with Craig and film this tutorial for hours. I mean, you know how a Craig Petty project is. Fuck that shit. And after we get done with this, I think something went wrong with the camera. We had to film part of it again. Anyways, it just took a long time. And then you guys don't even use the fucking tutorial for Evoke, and the footage has never seen the light of day. So anyways, just thought that was a great way to cap off that story with a useless 3 hours after being scared shitless. Anyways, guys, real quick, the AI question that came up last week, or not question, but what we were talking about, Luke Ozy's, petition that he had. I get why there would be a petition for an art festival, an art competition. I get that. But I don't necessarily think that the use of AI in art is bad, because AI is just going to help people learn how to do things that they didn't know how to do, or make them a lot easier, or maybe give people access to things that they didn't know they were going to be able to have access to. So it gives someone the opportunity to create art that didn't necessarily have the opportunity beforehand. So I just wanted to say, what are your opinions on using AI for art? And when it comes to just putting out AI slop, obviously that's not good. But if somebody's using AI efficiently, I just don't see an issue with using AI in an art capacity if it's not for an art competition where the goal is to just appreciate the human mind and the creativity that we all have within us. It's kind of like when a method for a magic trick is revealed and you're like, oh, that's it? And it's like, well, is the trick less impressive now that you know the method? Like, no, remember how you felt when you saw the trick. That's kind of how I feel like when you see some, like, AI-generated art or someone that used AI to help them with their art. Or not necessarily just art, but like whatever it is. I don't know, just examples of using AI when it's not done in a sloppy way. I feel like it's not bad. So yeah, guys, have a shit week. Would love to hear your opinion on that. Can't wait to see you in a couple weeks. And fuck right off.
So first of all, stop moaning like a little bitch.
Yeah, I'm pussy about it, man.
Yeah, fuck, I woke you up. Fuck off.
You woke it up and then they didn't use the footage.
Also, let me correct you. Anytime that you use the phrase "have the best night's sleep of my life" and include in that sentence Blackpool, you are obviously tapped in the head, motherfucker, because you don't go to Blackpool for the best sleep of your life. You go to Blackpool and hope when you wake up you're not sleeping with the cockroaches.
Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah. He complained about being woken up from his slumber, but that little cunt, that same Blackpool, went to a gay bar and broke his leg. Actually had to go home with a cast in a wheelchair on the airplane.
Yeah.
So he said, oh, you wasted 3 hours of my time filming a Vogue. I think the biggest waste of your time, mate, was sat in that fucking hospital with Jake getting your leg put in a cast.
But I'm looking forward to seeing you, man.
I can't wait. And I want a custom t-shirt again because I've been using the one that he bought us with your face like a testicle. I use it for DIY. I do. It's covered in paint and jizz. Art with AI. I'm
right. My point on this is I understand where he's talking about because you are very artistic. You have, you're very good at making thumbnails and all of that sort of stuff. And I'll give you 2 examples of where AI has helped me. So I'm doing something with Phil Smith at the moment. I know, fucking surprise. I'm doing something with Phil Smith at the moment, and I couldn't really kind of explain to him how I wanted it to look. It was very difficult for me to kind of verbally or even in a written point of view explain it. So I went on to AI and I was like, look, I need to send a brief to my designer. This is what I need him to understand, and I can't get my head around it. Can you please make a thing that would... And it put something together. I sent it to Phil, and he's like, right, got it. I understand.
I know what you're saying with that, right? I think, look, you're not going to stop it. And I've been loosely helping with a TV show, and part of the show is a pitch deck that gets sent to the producers of like, this is what we kind of want to do. These are the shots that we kind of want to make. And AI is being used to make loose storyboards in a sense then. And because it's efficient, it's quick, and it's not actually going to be used as art. It's just used behind the scenes to just get a message across, get a point across, just like what you're doing. That's all right. Yeah. I know some people say, oh, it's not, even that's not okay. Fuck off. It's all right. It's all right. Because you're not profiting from it. You're not using it in an artistic sense. You're using it to convey a point.
Here's another example. I'll give you one more example. So you know that Michael's been on holiday for a week and a half. Well, not on holiday. It's a busman's holiday. He does other stuff. But he's been away in Kuala Lumpur. And we batched every video so that I didn't have to worry about it while he was away. But we missed one video. Fine. I can edit the video myself. Not a problem. I edit the video, but what I can't do is do a thumbnail. I just can't. So I just went on AI and I was like, look, I need a thumbnail for this video. It's going to take me hours to figure out how to do it. I haven't got hours. I've got minutes. Just make me a thumbnail so I've got something that I can put over the video. The video, loads of comments. Oh my God, this is a really useful video. Like, it was an hour-long thing. It was an advice video. Hey, here's some free advice for you on how to do this, blah, 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 blah. It was all really good. And one person just went, I'm not watching this, AI slop. And I'm like, I just gave my time up for free to make a video designed literally to help. That's the only, I get nothing from it at all. I have a million other things right now that I could be doing. My editor, who, by the way, I pay a full-time salary to, and I would normally do a thumbnail without AI, is not here. So I'm having to do the best as I can to get this up online. And you just dismiss all of the content and call it AI slop when the content's not AI slop, but I had to make a decision with the thumbnail. Fuck you. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of my attitude. It's like everyone's got such a polarizing. It's like one degree or another. And it's like, well, hang on a minute. Don't dismiss what I've done just because you're saying the thumbnail is AI slop. You're not going to watch it because it's AI slop. Well, there's a lot of valuable information in there that I spent time and effort putting together. And I wouldn't have had to have done that if I was in the situation I was in, and I was, and I made a decision. Do you know what I mean? So that's the other point I've got on
Yeah,
that.
I know what you mean. I think what it is though, I understand that guy's point because I know like your videos, like one of the videos you put up with the AI thumbnail was the mem deck masterclass kind of thing.
That's the one. That's the one I was talking about.
Yeah, amazing video. I didn't click on it because of the thumbnail. I'm also that guy. And I know the thing is I know you're like when you did like the hows and whys of the Quiver wallet and the hows and whys of like the WoW device and stuff, they're fucking phenomenally jam packed. But people, myself included, and I know I'm wrong. Like I know people have an inherent bias to stuff like AI because it means that to be honest with you, you would have been better off just taking a photo of you on your phone and doing that with a mem deck. That would have been better. That would have been a better picture, and people would have clicked on it. And in fact, I would go back and change it now because at least it's authentic. And we were talking about this last week. Is that even if I remember, I literally said, even if it's worse, it's better. Even if it's crap, even if it's just you holding the deck of cards as the thumbnail, which you can literally set on your phone. Like, have you got a deck of cards there?
Yes.
Right. Where's your phone?
Next to me.
Right. Find the cards and take a selfie sideways like this. Find the cards, take a selfie.
Like that.
So the phone's sideways,
Oh, right. I see what you mean. Yep.
Yep. Now go into your YouTube app and upload that as the thumbnail. You're welcome. Mate, that's actually a good photo. Click on that and watch your views climb. Yep, that's the one. That's a great photo. That's a good snap. Put that into YouTube now, please. Right now, delete the other fucking thumbnail. Go into your YouTube app on your phone and change the thumbnail for the mem deck video.
I'm going in.
Right? How many views is it at now? I'll check the views. You just fucking do the thumbnail.
Okay.
Right. Just go into his page. So it's got pretty good amount of views for you. It's got 1.3 thousand views in a day. So it's kind of working.
It is. Yeah,
but change it. Change it now. Let's see if it gets to like 2,000 by end of day, 2,500 by tomorrow.
Okay.
There we are. And now I'll give it a view. One view. One view. But it's authentic. It's authentic. People would rather it be shit than know it's generated by AI. Now, there are some places where you can use it effectively. It's really good for like every photographer edits their photos. Not using AI, but they edit their photos. One of the things you can do with editing photos is adding in changing the lighting source in a photo, which I can do manually. It takes some time. AI can help with that. It can adjust. So I wanted to do some light rays coming through these trees that I took a photo of at Brombill Reservoir recently, and I wanted it to appear more golden hour time than I had it. I can do that manually, and there are apps like Photoshop that can like use like generative configuration to do it.
Right.
Which is essentially AI, but people don't realize that it's in the same category. But you can use it in subtle ways like that, which is not necessarily giving you art. It's helping you with a process which can often take like a long time and be, things. So it's okay, but where I don't agree with it using it as art is using it as art. You can use it to help in elements of the creation of it, but originality and authenticity is always going to win out. And because what it is, there's an inherent message there, which is a big part of the reason why people appreciate art is because they know someone's put effort in. There's a reason behind every decision made with that art piece. Dan and Dave talk about one of their favorite like furniture designers. He put so much time into the underside of the table, and no one's ever going to see it. But you, when you purchase it, you know that that the time has been taken to put into something that's not even visible. So you know the entire piece it's been well thought out and had like master craftsmanship put into it. And it's the same with art. Like when I went to Richard Turner's house in Austin, Texas, the reason he loves the art that he has on his walls and the furniture is because it's all textured. He can feel every texture. It was all done by someone, you know? And that's what it is. When you see AI slop and all the AI slop like apps that are out there that have, you know, you don't want to support them, not because some of it doesn't look great or work well. It's because you know that it's just you could have done it, right? Anyone could have done it. So I would never put I put art up on my walls that's been done by people. I don't, and even if it's shit, because I know someone's took time to work on that.
Yeah.
If it's not, you think, I could have just done that prompt.
I get it.
You are better off doing thumbnails just like that. Take 10, and it's quicker, fucking faster. It's fucking faster to take that selfie and upload it, right?
Yeah.
That was faster, way faster than using AI. But it's authentic. Even if you drop it into a bloody editing program and put a title on it, Memdeck Masterclass, what's that, an extra 15 seconds?
Yeah.
It's authentic though. Like I put thumbnails, I put up what was the thumbnail I put up yesterday, or the day before? Because I hadn't even spoken about the fucking box thing that I received from James Howells, the custom elephant thing. Did you see that?
No? What's that?
Let me show you this now. It's fucking insane. This is the thumbnail I put up for my video 2 days ago. I'm trying to rotate my screen. Someone sent me a mystery box. That's not as good as an AI thumbnail would do it, right? I know that.
Yeah.
But it's mine. I know I could have dropped my core image into AI and said, make me a dope YouTube thumbnail, and it would have popped it. But it's not as good. I've used it to help me color grade stuff better, which is because I'm colorblind. But yeah, authentic is better. Yeah, let me show you this. So I got a mysterious package in the mail.
Okay.
And Kaylee said someone sent this to you, Lloyd. It was addressed to her. And I opened it. It was this.
What's that? The vanishing elephant.
Right?
Yeah.
I got to tilt it because of the screen reflection.
Yeah.
I turn it on. James Howells, sent this to me out of the blue, a custom Pepper's ghost with a vanishing elephant built in.
Oh man, in a card. That's box. Amazing.
Fucking incredible. Look at that. And just for funsies, it can vanish.
That's so good.
Isn't that incredible?
Dude.
At James Howells Creations, he just made it to sort of like say like congratulations on creating it, and just like and I think a bit of good luck for going solo as an independent artist. And yeah, look at that, man.
Dude, that's such a talking point. That's beautiful.
Isn't that incredible? It's the most like special thing I've ever received. So yeah, that's what I was editing the other day, just to say thank you and share it. But what an amazing artist to make that. Like,
yeah, and he didn't need to do that.
No,
that's the type of people we need in this community.
Yeah, thank you again. I said it like I was literally speechless, so touched by it. But thank you, James Howells, for this. Yeah, that's the type of community. That's the people I surround myself with, or want to surround myself with. People that are like, I try and give as much back behind the scenes as I do in front of the scenes. I know you do it more than anyone else on fucking earth. The people. Somebody messaged me the other day. You offered on the Alakazam live stream to buy someone's ticket for them to the Alakazam convention. He said, then he messaged me about something, and he said, "Oh yeah, a couple of years ago, you also helped." I don't want to name names, but you also like this guy like hasn't got a name in the industry or anything, but he was in a bad place, so you sorted him out with like some financial help.
Well, he needed help, and I could help him.
But the amount of people that come forward to me And like, oh yeah, Craig did this. Craig bought my convention ticket. Craig bought me a hotel. Oh yeah, I was in the pits. And you don't talk about any of it. And I don't know. Just for what it's worth, you're a fucking good person, man. And that I want to be more like you. I'm trying to do as much of it as I can. But yeah, the people like this are the people in the community that we need to surround ourselves with.
Absolutely, 100%. Now, going from people in the community that do really good, and earlier on we talked about talented magicians who enter close-up competitions. Let's move from that to professional idiots. We've got a question from Thomas Maloney, who is Tom is great. I mean, the first time you met him was when he came along and helped with the Savant Deck tutorial, and literally created.
No, the first time I met him, he was pissed up in the audience for the Magic Podcast Live.
Well, yeah, okay, but then when you met him at his best, he kind of came up with some of the best routines on the.
He really did. He really did come up with some of the best ideas on the entire project, and he's an amazing, hard-working magician. He's fantastic.
Yeah, he really is. Well, he sent an audio question in, so let's hear. I haven't even listened to this. Let's hear what he's got to say.
I think Lloyd Barnes is being overly critical over the packaging, and I can see why Murphy's probably got rid of him. I actually like the packaging. The design, not so great. Yeah, crap from a marketing point of view. But for a working magician, I like the fact that all the boxes are uniformed and they're really tight and compact. They go in a close-up case and they're all labelled nice and look nice and neat. And when I get to a gear, I can go, oh, I'll use that one, slide it out, take the deck out, use it, put it back in, slide it back in. It's like a little bit of a library of magic tricks. So Lloyd, I don't think you're all that when it comes to packaging. Remember, don't fuck kids.
What the fuck? Right, first of all, never let Austin Murphy or anyone else at the Murphy's family hear that fucking voice note. He must be the only person on this fucking planet that has said.
He's not lying though. I've been to gigs with him and I've looked at his close-up case and it's little white boxes just stacked next to each other.
No. How fucking lazy. How fucking just put the oh my god, that's pissed me off, Thomas Maloney. You phony. Do you know what though? I just know for a fact. I just know for an absolute certainty that he has Live, Laugh, Love vinyl stickers on his fucking living room wall and like glitter paper. Do you know what I mean? He's one of those fucking tacky houses that has the same fucking black TV glass shelf that everyone else has. Live, Laugh, Love fucking pillows in every fucking room, glitter fucking bed sheets, everything. You know what I mean? Like they're just the tackiest of the tacky. So yeah, enjoy the shit packaging. Fuck me. This is people who have no fucking style. So important to fucking. I can see why you're friends with him. You and your fucking.
Look, you're looking at someone who wears I live very cheap. My fucking wardrobe is black t-shirts, black jeans, and plaid shirts. That's it. Like, do you know what I mean? From a fashion point of view, I'm not exactly top tier myself.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's why you surround yourself with fucking badly designed people. Oh no, life is all about having it's a vibe, innit? Like it's about fucking. That's like trying to fucking explain algebra to a frog. Thomas, you're wrong. You're wrong. The packaging is shit. Even just fucking change the colors. Change the colors. Change the design. Oh, I am sick of it. Sick of it. Sick of it. This packaging, by the way, is not meant for your close-up cases. It's meant for the shelves of the shops. It's not meant for your close-up cases. So you're even using it wrong. You're using it fucking wrong. And Kaylee, my fucking wife who knows the industry, thought she was looking at the same product for 6 months that was near my bed. So they're not.
He did say in the voice note that from a marketing point of view, it's bad. But the thing with the packaging is it's all about the marketing. It's what it looks like on a dealership. Yeah. It's what it looks like on.
Yeah, it's like saying, do you know what? In fact, this is his point, really. Oh, don't criticize the boxes because they make great paperweights.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, fine. You could use them for storage. Or get better storage, like get a clear plastic box so you can actually see your proppers inside it. And you're not, piss off, Thomas. Honest to God. Any more fucking voice notes?
Yeah, I've got one more. I got one more. Maybe this will cheer you up a bit from Gwilym Bajaya. Gwilym Bajaya. I haven't listened to Gwilym from Malta, who's making a name for himself right now as a incredible creator of magic. Let's see what he's got to say.
Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Guillem here, all the way from Malta. So, because you are both creators, I have a question for you. What do you think is the biggest mistake new or aspiring creators make when they're starting out? Looking forward to hear what you think. Cheers, have a shit week, and don't fuck kids.
Love it. That's a great question, Lloyd.
Biggest mistake creators make when they're first starting out. Do you want to take it from here while I just send a password over to someone?
Yeah. So from my point of view, I would say the biggest mistake that people make is giving up too early, I think. What I mean by that is, and I mean that in a couple of different ways. The first way I mean it is, when somebody's got a trick that they feel is ready, they'll send it out to a couple of people. Maybe they'll send it out to Murphy's and Penguin and Alakazam or whoever. And if they get a bunch of rejections, they just go, "Oh well, it was never meant to be. It's shit." And I met somebody who was a very creative magician, and I said, "You should actually work on actually creating magic." And they were like, "Oh no, I tried that. Nobody was interested. I don't have a creative bone in my body." And I think they give up too early and too quickly. And one of the things I've learned from running a business is it's kind of a case of never give up. You keep chipping away, you keep chipping away, you keep chipping away until eventually you get that opportunity. You have to make your own opportunities. The world is full of people that watch things happen. You need to be making it happen. And, just because you get knocked back, it doesn't mean that it's the end. If every single company knocks you back, ask for feedback. Why do you think this is not a viable product? And then take it back to to prototype level and fix those issues, or try with something else. But I think people give up too early. I also think people give up on their ideas too early. Like, I remember when I bought that Cube 52 and it came out, somebody contacted me and said, "Oh, I had an idea like that. And, I tried to come up with how to do it and I couldn't. And so I just ended up giving up. I wish I'd done it now." And I've had variations of that conversation so many times. So many people say to me, "Oh, I had an idea for a trick similar to that, but I never did anything with it." And I think if you've got an idea for a trick, absolutely push forward with it, because it's never going to make itself. Those ideas that you've got will just sit there and be ideas until you actually take those ideas and turn them into something that's practical that you can actually start using and create that actual thing. Because if you don't, somebody else will. And then you'll be pissed off when they bring it out and that you had the idea years ago. So I think really the biggest piece of advice is in every aspect of creating, never give up. And don't allow setbacks to stop you from pushing forward to your ultimate goal. If you want to be a creator, you can make it happen, but you have to make it happen. You got to believe in yourself. Self-belief is so important. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will believe in you either. If you want to be a creator, you can do it. You just got to believe it.
Dream, believe, achieve.
Exactly.
Yeah, persistence. Well, I don't know what intention William means with the question, like a creator for releasing products, to release products even, or a creator just in general. But my sort of blanket response for both is in my head, a creator is somebody that comes up with or discovers new things that haven't been done before, or connects dots that have never been connectable or connected in the past, or connects ideas. So I think at least that's my definition of a creator. So I see a lot of people out there that define themselves as creators when really they're just getting money for old rope. They're just doing the same thing with a different color back design or whatever. And one of the ways to sort of find out if you've got the mustard or you can cut the mustard for it is to look at an idea, think about what you want to do, and then like for example, if it was like you want to do like an Acme hole type trick. Oh, there's Craig's pawn for the day.
I'm so sorry.
Or if you want to do a coin and bottle, right? You write down every coin and bottle method that you can think of.
Yeah.
That exists out there. And then that's your do not fucking touch these methods list. Then you work, and the word I always use is relentless. You become relentless in your pursuit to find and discover a new method, a new way of doing it that nobody's touched before. Once you think you have something, you switch your brain into immediately this mindset of, this has been done before. My job is to now find out who did it. Right? So when you have what you think is a new method, you then change your mind into the mindset of, now I need to discover who did it. And you go off and you tirelessly hunt down, or try to hunt down, where it's been done before, because 9 times out of 10 it has been, right? Because there's nothing new under the sun in magic. Only if, once you've exhausted every avenue of research for real, then you might be able to start to think, hey, I do have something new here. Once you have that something new, or that once you come to that discovery or that realization, potential realization, start performing it and start showing as many people as possible, and listen to them. If someone says if people are not responsive to it, if they're not, work it to death, just work it to fucking death, and then try to think outside the box. This is where like the outside the box creating thing is like now you've got a cool coin and bottle, right? Good. What would make this insane? Are you just competing to be another coin and bottle on the shelf, but you just happen to have a different method? What can you now bring to the table with this that makes it unique? Like I'm trying to think of ideas or examples off the top of my head.
Well, it's not coin in bottle, but coin in object. Sinful was like a massive step forward back in the day, and the breakthrough system that we've talked about a couple of weeks ago, is a massive step forward when it comes
to so much new methodology there, so much new methodology, so much new approach in the thinking of it, and that's it. So yeah, my advice for a creator is be completely relentless. Like a reason why, like I have a lot of like these slow motion visual magic effects, which like sort of never, the ones I've done, I am pretty certain that they're unique to me, because I sort of went through this process. But in my head, I went through this relentless pursuit of, I wanted a visual card through bill, but I wanted it to happen in slow motion over the space of about 5 seconds, where you see it literally materializing through the bill without any like digital enhancements. It was happening in real life. So my pursuit for that was, I did not stop until I had something that looked exactly like what my imagination had in my head. Because so many people will go, well, I could just like have a slit here and it would just pop through, and it kind of might look like it's slow motion. Or no, I actually wanted you to physically see the 2 pieces of material visually melting one through the other. And I worked on it until I achieved that. And I was relentless. And I have a coin in box, which is a similar thing. Like I wanted the coin to melt the box. I wanted to do color changes with playing cards where you see the color change slowly happening. I was relentless in that pursuit. And it's kind of what you said. It was, I didn't give up. I don't settle for shit, basically. Like I don't just go, oh, well, we could use a flap. Yeah, flap's good. That'll do. Next.
Because that's the important thing you need to understand. You're only as good as your last release.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you just use it, you're not really like I know I can list a lot of magicians that call themselves creators, but really they just do like the same method, but on different objects. It's the same. They have one principle that they like, or one plot that they like, and they just try and apply it to as many different things as possible. And that's not a creator. A creator is someone who's out there, like Luba and Paul Harris. Those are the creators out there. Those are the people I define as creators. So if you want to be a creator, then that's the approach that I tend to take.
That's a good approach. That's great. That's really good advice. Way better than what I said.
No, I think yours is equal, if not better, more applicable advice. And then only think about turning into a product when it's fucking dope.
Yep.
It's not about a time thing. Like,
don't rush it.
Well, it's not necessarily like a rush thing, but like only if it's actually worth bringing to the market. So many people create to bring to the market because they want money or they want to be on the market, but a lot of the stuff they put out isn't worth being on the market. It's not actually bringing much new to the table, you know?
Yeah.
I only put it out if people are my rule of thumb is the only stuff that I put out now is the shit that people ask for. If I showed it to my like I've performed it and it's good to lay people, and then I show it to my magician friends and they go, right, am I allowed to use that? Can I be using that? Or can I buy that off you? When I hear that like 10 to 20 times, that's when I think, okay, this is probably a product then, you know,
Yep.
if I feel comfortable. And then the other 999 things are for me.
Yep. 100%.
You know, and it could be something you created on that day. And it could be something that you spent 9 years working on.
Well, you've openly said when you bought out Acne Hole, which is one of your most popular releases ever, you created it the same day it came out or something, didn't you?
In 3 days, yeah. I put it on Instagram within 30 minutes of making it, coming up with it. And then 3 days later, it was a release.
Yeah.
So I had to save someone's bacon. The company I was in, they needed to fill a release window. So I had to do it again. So
Lloyd, when you need to fill a hole, you go to Lloyd.
As long as it has a sheep at the bottom of it, we'll be in good standing, my friend.
Fucking hell. I think we're done, man. I know that you've got a metric ton on today. We'll do a longer one next week, but I know you've got a metric ton on. I've got a metric ton on. Very sorry that we didn't get this up on the Wednesday. We'll be back on the Wednesday next week. But like I said, I've had a bit of a bitch of a week, and Lloyd's been filming and judging close at competitions and just generally being the rock star that he is. But
I'm sorry, my fault. My fault, pal. You're lucky the fucking podcast exists, you listening bastards. So you're welcome. You don't get this shit anywhere else.
Absolutely. Like I say, if you're missing a day, go listen to Richard Young and his podcast. He's very nice, and it's a very good podcast. I'm a subscriber, but if you really want to wait for this,
it's better than this shit.
It's better than this shit. Although, if you're listening, Richard, we're gonna fucking take every single award off you.
We're not.
Yeah, we are. We are. We're coming for you. Me and Lloyd versus you and Sam.
Dude, we're gonna lose again.
No, but
that's fine. And we deserve to lose because, to be honest with you, I spent half this podcast like just looking at shit on the internet. I'm currently reading about a woman who's been prosecuted for claiming benefits while owning a caravan. So, you know,
yeah,
they're going to win the award just for hitting their schedule. Like that alone, we don't even do.
Well, no, we kind of do a little bit occasionally if we're lucky, but you know, we definitely win on if there was an award for the amount of times podcast hosts talk about pedophiles. We got that in the bag. Yeah. No other fucker. I was speaking to John Morton, who, by the way, we should do a podcast about the stuff that's coming out of Blackpool that you and I have seen. John Morton's fucking color match is so good.
Is it?
It's so fucking good. No electronics, works every single time. It's just fucking. And he was talking about how Tom Wright listens to the podcast, which freaks me out that Tom Wright listens to it because
he's a god. He can't listen to this. No.
And he was like, and John's really good friends with Tom, and he was like, Tom was listening to the podcast last week, and there was a lot of paedophile talk at the beginning, and Tom was like, I'll skip forward 10 minutes, and we're still talking about paedophiles. Forward 10 more minutes. Oh, they're still talking about paedophiles. 30 minutes in, right now they're on to the stuff we want to listen to. We've got that fucking award down.
Oh man, no one's taking that award off us. We're the fucking we pull the pantsers down on nonsense.
Yeah, we do. That should be a t-shirt.
Tyler, hold your tongue out of your sisters for JJ. It's time to make a t-shirt.
But we'll be back next week. Hopefully we'll have a venue sorted if Michael has done his job right. Down below, both on podcast, anywhere you've listened to this, YouTube, everywhere, down below there is going to be a link. Click on that link. It's simply going to be first name, last name, email address. All we're doing right now is getting people that are interested in coming to the fucking greatest convention of all time, and then we will let you know.
After that, they can come to ours.
Yes, absolutely. And then when you've gone to the Alakazam convention and you've gone to Blackpool and all the others, then you can come and experience a car crash
We're
live.
The best of the rest, baby.
So put your details down below. Yeah, we're going to be back again next week. Wrap it up, Mr. Barnes.
Have a shit week, you bunch of cunts. And remember, please keep this tattooed on the inside of your eyelids if you need to. Don't fuck kids.
Yep.
Otherwise, you'll just end up like a book test loving Ted Karmilovich. Dead, buried, with devil horns over his head.
And the only thing he's got for his name is the that age-old principle, the nonce of all book tests.
Yeah. The daughter of all book tests. I stole that from a friend. I don't want to name them in case they don't want to know. They don't want...
Daughter of all book tests. We'll see you all next week, everybody. Have a shit week. Fuck off and go and do something better with your life than listening to this wank.
It is actually shit.
We apologize for disrupting your normal daily schedule. You may now relax, tuck your deck back in, and resume your regular day-to-day life. Remember to subscribe to be notified the moment each new episode goes live every Wednesday. And join our Facebook group to continue the conversation. The link is in the description to this podcast. Thank you for listening to The Magic Podcast.